True Story Media.
You always want the best for your family, and that means only Eggland's Best Eggs in your kitchen. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best Eggs contain 6 times more vitamin D, 25% less saturated fat, more than double the omega-3s, 10 times more vitamin E, and more than double the vitamin B12. So why give your family less when they can have the best? Add Eggland's Best Superior Nutrition to your next grocery list. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Sustain Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Sustain Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
This podcast contains adult themes and language, and some of the things that we discuss may be disturbing to some listeners. In this podcast, we discuss sexual assault, torture, race, and murder. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care of yourself.
Welcome to Fruitloops, Buiti Binafi, and Bienvenidos Bitches. Thank you so much for listening. Fruitloops is a true crime, history, and comedy podcast that delves into the often overlooked stories of serial killers of color and, more importantly, the victims. We take deep dives into the lives and crimes of these killers worldwide, while also examining the history, culture, and social factors that may have influenced their actions. And the reason that we cover these crimes is because they often go unnoticed by the public. And why is that? Because in the simplest of terms, the news is racist. Allegedly.
And we are Wendy and Beth. She's Wendy, a Black Latinx woman, and I'm Beth, and I just happen to be white. That's just a little piece of who we are. Another piece is that although we are both fascinated by true crime, really fascinated by true crime, and we know a lot about it, keep in mind that we are not journalists, investigators, or psychologists, and the opinions expressed in this podcast are just that, our opinions.
All right. Who are we talking about today, friend?
Well, in 1992... 18-year-old Katie Rackliff was murdered in Surrey, England, in a random, brutal attack. For years, the police believed the killer was an adult man. The truth was shocking. The killer was a 12-year-old named Sharon Carr. She was later convicted, becoming one of the youngest female murderers in UK history.
Damn.
This is Fruitloops, episode 271, The Devil's Daughter.
Wow. No, this case was
wild
at every turn. What?
Yeah.
And also very fascinating. And I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's coming to the end of the school year pretty soon. Next month. Yeah.
Wow.
How about you? Your kids?
We
kids
early
are
June.
going nuts. Early June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids are losing it. So
yeah. Yeah.
Teachers are losing it. I got two. I got a teacher and a kid in my house.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Oh, so you getting both sides.
Both sides.
This is, you're in an unusually lucky position to have that vantage point.
Yeah. Lucky me.
Well, I mean, if you, I don't know what the right word is, but you get to observe. And I think the conclusion is we're all sort of feeling like,
the pressure.
Pressure of the end of the school year. And I totally get it. Well, hang in there, my friend. Keep keeping on, as they say.
How you doing?
Doing good. Feeling overwhelmed. Work is crazy busy.
Oh, yeah.
And we are literally in hell. Have you seen what's going on outside?
I know. Yeah.
I just couldn't believe some of the truths that we saw. So, and the
Easter was wild.
Oh, what? So I've incorporated a scream pillow into my daily routine.
Nice.
It's quite it really helps. So
Good.
highly recommend
I'm
it.
glad that helps.
Thank you. And getting ready and excited for CrimeCon. Don't forget to use code FruitLoops10.
Very excited.
And very glad to be here with my pal Beth. Talking true crime in this case, again, was so interesting, and I'm excited to dive in. So
yeah, favorite time of the week.
I do. So let's take a quick break, and then we will get into the story when we come back.
All right.
We're back. Remind us, Beth, who is the subject today?
Sharon Carr, who was just 12 years old when she murdered a woman she didn't even know.
Ooh.
The brutality of that crime led police to believe that the murderer was an adult man. Carr was only caught when she attempted a second murder 2 years later, and the press branded her the devil's daughter.
All right. Well, now we're going to get to the love and light portion of our show where we just say rest and power to the victims whose lives were taken, cut short, and love and light to their communities and loved ones left in the wake of this crime. The murder victim is Katie Rackliff, who was 18 years old. And the second victim was Anne Marie Clifford, who was 13 years old, and she survived. So now let's get into the setting and early life of Sharon Louise Carr. Take us there, Beth.
Well, Sharon Louise Carr was born on December 21st, 1979, in Belize.
Whoa!
Yeah, Belize.
Oh, you should have seen my face when I started researching this case last week.
Case.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
yeah, I picked it specifically because, because of the Belize.
Oh, I love it. Wow, that's really cool.
I knew you would like that.
Love it.
So Belize was formerly known as British Honduras until 1973, and it's an independent nation on the Caribbean coast of Central America.
While geographically it is near Spanish-speaking Honduras, it is distinct, having gained independence from the UK in 1981, and it is known for its British colonial history, English-speaking population, and rich Maya history.
At the time of our story, Belize was a small country that had just gained its independence after a long struggle to break away from British colonial rule. Belize was the last British colony on the Central American mainland to gain sovereignty.
Did not know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Shout out to sovereignty and independence. Amen. In those early years, there was a strong sense of national pride and optimism, but also lingering tension, especially because neighboring Guatemala continued to claim Belizean territory, creating an undercurrent of political anxiety that shaped daily life.
I can only imagine that, how anxiety producing that would be.
Oh, yeah. And that tension, it didn't, I went to Belize in the 90s and we tried to go to Guatemala and there were guards with guns and AK-47. So we turned around.
Yeah. I kind of think of it like, a new country was birthed. So it's like a newborn baby and they're trying to protect it. And, how anxiety producing that is having a newborn baby. Yeah, that's how I think of it.
That's a beautiful way to think of it, actually. Wow.
I can only imagine, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Like a new baby and all the possibilities and it's exciting.
All the excitement, but then also the fear and all the anxiety. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Beth, you really are good at this. Wow. You just transported me to a whole new place with your metaphor. You are very good at that. Wow.
Culturally, Belize in the 1980s felt like a crossroads between the Caribbean and Central America. English was the official language, a legacy of British rule, but daily life was multilingual with Belizean Creole, Spanish, and Mayan languages commonly spoken.
Yeah, man. My favorite Belizean slogan is, "You better Belize it." It makes me laugh every time. So the population was and still is deeply diverse, made of Creole, Mestizo, Garifuna, Maya, and other communities, each contributing to a vibrant mix of traditions, music, and food. Hell yeah, on the food. Also, at the beginning of our show, when you hear Puiti Binafi, that is Garifuna for hello, greetings, good morning. And this diversity shaped early life. You might hear punta music playing in one neighborhood, Spanish conversations in another, and Creole spoken everywhere in between.
Belize has a mix of Afro-Caribbean spiritual traditions, ancestral worship, and folk practices that sometimes get labeled voodoo by outsiders, even though locals don't usually call it that. Especially in communities like the Garifuna and Creole populations, there are deep spiritual traditions rooted in African and indigenous beliefs.
That's right. And among the Garifuna people, spirituality centers on a powerful connection with ancestors. We believe, that the spirits of the dead can influence the living for better or worse. Rituals can involve music, drumming, trance, and spirit possession. These ceremonies can look to outsiders a lot like what people think of as voodoo, but they're actually a part of a distinct Afro-Indigenous religious system unique to the Garifuna. They're pretty cool.
Then there's Obeah, which is probably the closest thing in Belize to what people loosely call voodoo. Obeah is a set of spiritual and magical practices brought from West Africa during the transatlantic slave trade and spread throughout British Caribbean colonies, including Belize.
It can involve healing, protection, charms, or sometimes harmful intent, depending on the practitioner. In Belizean folklore, people still talk about Obeah, like burying objects near a home to curse or protect it. And it remains part of the cultural imagination, even if not openly practiced by most people.
Because of colonial history, practices like Obeah were often criminalized and stigmatized. You know how the British people are so scared of witches.
Oh my! Well, and any
magic.
Yeah, any black people doing anything looks scary. To
you're
colonizers or white people who don't understand
a fire. What are you doing?
Oh
you're
my
dancing?
God!
Oh God!
Yeah,
you must be up to no good.
See, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So these practices, like Obeah, were often criminalized and stigmatized, which pushed them underground and blurred the line between religion, folklore, and fear. That's part of why you'll hear conflicting things. Some Belizeans see these traditions as meaningful spiritual practices, while others view them as dangerous or taboo.
So in Belize, voodoo isn't a formal, organized religion the way it is in Haiti. Instead, what you'll find is a layered spiritual landscape. Christianity on the surface, and underneath, a rich blend of African, indigenous, and Caribbean beliefs. Ancestor reverence, spirit communication, and folk magic that carry echoes of the same roots that produced voodoo elsewhere in the region.
For a child growing up in Belize during the 1980s, life likely felt both simple and complex. There was a strong sense of community. Neighbors knew each other, extended families were tightly connected, and education was seen as a pathway to something better.
Right. But economically, the 1980s were a challenging decade for Belize. The country relied heavily on a few agricultural exports like sugar and citrus, and when global prices dropped in the early part of the decade, it hit the country hard.
There were fewer economic opportunities and fewer resources. At the same time, there was a palpable sense of identity forming. Belize wasn't British Honduras anymore. It was something new, something its people were actively defining.
However, for many Belizean families, migration, particularly to the United States or the States, became a common path toward financial stability.
It was within this environment that Sharon Carr was born, into extreme poverty in a deeply unstable home. From a very early age, Sharon was surrounded by chaos, and she was exposed to violence.
Yeah, every source talked about how unstable and violent it was at her home. And her father was reportedly a violent alcoholic, and her mother, Molly, was described as callous, volatile, and unpredictable. Sharon reportedly had a brother along with several stepbrothers and stepsisters and grew up in a household marked by constant turmoil.
Her father left when she was about 5 or 6 years old. When her mother met and married George Carr, a member of the Royal Army Medical Corps serving in Belize, the family relocated to Camberley in northwest Surrey, England.
The move offered a chance to leave their difficult circumstances behind, and at first, things seemed to improve. The family settled in the Old Dean Estate, a suburb of Camberley. At school, Sharon's teachers initially described her as polite and helpful. One teacher described her as, quote, charming and refreshing, unquote, and she played on the school basketball team.
However, her mother and stepfather split up in 1987, during which time there was a violent incident between them which Sharon witnessed. During an argument, her mother poured boiling fat on her stepfather's head. Yeah.
Híjole, Santa Maria. My God.
That's hard for me to even imagine how awful that would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I can't believe he didn't die.
Yeah.
Later, her stepfather recalled the incident did not disturb Sharon at all. Not one iota. He said, quote, the second I was inside the house, Molly came up with this pot in her hand and poured boiling fat over me. It went over my head, my arms and chest. Sharon, said nothing. She did nothing. But Sharon was always listening, watching, and witnessing violence, unquote.
And he said this later, after she was arrested and all that. And he says it as if it's proof of her being like evil, like she didn't give a shit. But I see it as a trauma response.
Thank you. Oh my God. Look at this lady over here. I can't let you go on without one of these. Wow. Yes, I agree. Thank you for saying that.
I mean, there's, what is it? Fight, flight, or fawn. Fight, what is that?
Fight, flight, or fun.
Fawn. That is it.
Yeah.
Okay. You just stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and people forget about the fawn part.
Right.
Usually you only hear the fight or the flight part. But
yeah,
fawn,
I often do the fawn part. So.
Oh, girl.
So I know all about that.
Oh, my God. I'm a pro Olympic champion at fawning. Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
So her stepfather had to be hospitalized and criminal charges were filed against her mother. Molly Carr was given a suspended prison sentence for the attack on George and was ordered to undergo 3 years psychiatric treatment.
According to later interviews with George Carr, his former wife was, quote, an ardent participant in the black magic art of voodoo, unquote. And a little culture corner about the practice of voodoo. First, I want to say, my understanding is George Carr is black. And so when I had to find that out, like, why would he say that? But he's a black man.
He's a black Englishman. So he knows nothing about voodoo. Yeah.
Right. So just about the practice of voodoo and how it's misunderstood. Voodoo is a legit structured religion practiced by millions of people. And it's one of the most misunderstood religions in the whole wide world. And that is not by accident, if you ask me. I think it's due to centuries of racism, colonial fear, and, the white gaze projecting stereotypes onto Black or African spiritual systems. The religion is not a monolith and can look different depending on who you are or where you are in the world or the time period we're talking about. And it's practiced all over the world, including Haiti and other parts of the Caribbean and the continent of Africa. There's one supreme creator, like one God, and then there are ancestral spirits and intermediaries. And like many other religions, there is a duality between there's good and there's evil that exist. And like other religions as well, there are rituals, offerings, music, and community ceremonies. And the idea that voodoo is dark, violent, or evil was manufactured. And one of the reasons, as I understand, is that in Haiti, which is the only place in the world where enslaved people successfully revolted and freed themselves. But Haiti was punished for it. They had to pay the French people reparations. That's continued the country's suffering to this day. And additionally, Western nations demonized voodoo to justify isolating and punishing this new Black country and republic. So there you go.
All right.
Chew on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the environment that Sharon grew up in, which normalized violence and was combined with neglect, laid fertile ground for psychological disturbance. As she got older, Sharon's behavior deteriorated, and she became disruptive and attention-seeking.
Mm. Sharon's mother had no control over her daughter, and it's been reported that she drank a lot and that she didn't seem interested in her children or in being a mother. Reportedly, she once poured black pepper on her daughter's genitalia as punishment.
Yikes.
I don't even know where you get that idea to do.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
In many ways, Sharon seemed to adapt to survive within the chaos around her, but that adaptation came at a devastating cost. Her behavior became increasingly disruptive and aggressive, and she struggled to respect authority. And that's a nice way of putting it. She did not respect authority.
Right. And at times, social services stepped in, but their involvement was short-lived and ultimately ineffective. Sharon was placed in foster care for a short time, but was later returned to her mother's home, an already unstable and increasingly volatile environment.
Violence appeared to be a disturbing part of her life. People said that she decapitated a neighbor's dog with a spade.
Holy shit.
And a friend later alleged that she harmed other animals in other cruel ways. And that's, one of those signs of...
Yeah, one of the signs.
Yeah, being a psychopath.
Wow. I'm just without words, so I'm just saying, wow.
Yeah.
So Sharon's behavior included drug use and escalating violence. She began using cannabis at around 11 years old. Early cannabis use, particularly before age 18, has been linked to a higher risk of developing psychotic disorders, including schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
I learned that when researching this episode. I did not know that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, did you know it?
I had heard that because I'm fascinated by schizophrenia, and I for a time was like in rabbit holes of podcasts, listening to podcasts with people who had schizophrenia or were studying it, and I had learned that before. Yeah. That's not important. Anyway, yes, to answer your question. So sorry.
Still interesting. Yeah. So Sharon developed a reputation in the neighborhood as being someone to be feared. She was intimidating, unpredictable, and dangerous. Reportedly, practicing voodoo gave her a sense of being bulletproof, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know if she practiced voodoo. This was like stories after the fact. And there was the thing that the ex-husband had said about the mother practicing voodoo. So I feel like they kind of made that up, but I don't know.
And I'll get into it in my takes. I feel like that voodoo was injected into this story unnecessarily to sensationalize
it. It was always kind of like a side. Oh, by the way, they practiced voodoo.
Oh, and by the way, yeah. Like,
but then I could never really, to add something salacious, But we'll get to it.
Okay, so now let's get on into the timeline. Splish splash. So in the summer of 1992, 18-year-old Katie Rackliff was training to be a hairdresser. She had lots of friends and her whole life in front of her. On June 6th, to take her mind off a recent breakup, she decided to go clubbing with her best friend at a nightclub in Camberley. Hey, friend, want to go to the club?
After the club closed in the early hours of the following morning, June 7th, Katie and her friends somehow got separated, and Katie had to make her own way home. But she never made it.
At 7 a.m., her half-naked body was discovered in the streets of Farnborough, several miles away from the nightclub where she was last seen. She had been stabbed repeatedly and violently in a frenzied attack, which left 29 separate wounds.
Some of the wounds were so severe that they went straight through her body. She suffered injuries all over her body, and her genitalia had been mutilated, perhaps post-mortem. The brutality of this crime led some to compare it to the attacks attributed to Jack the Ripper in the late 1800s. It was that bad.
Oh, wow. I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Now, because her body had been found so far away from the nightclub, investigators believed a vehicle had been involved, suspecting that someone had picked her up in a car and taken her to Farnborough, where she'd been attacked.
Katie had also been dragged a significant distance from where she was attacked to where she was found. Investigators believed that the perpetrator would have had to have been large and strong.
Early in the investigation, police theorized that the attacker was likely an adult male, and their inquiry centered on the nightclub where she had last been seen. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The investigation, though, went nowhere, and 2 years later, they still did not have a suspect.
Then on June 7th, 1994, 2 years to the day after Katie's murder, Sharon Carr attacked a fellow student at Collingwood College Comprehensive in Camberley. Carr lured 13-year-old Anne-Marie Clifford into the school toilets under the pretense of needing help finding a lost pound coin.
Frightened of Carr, Anne-Marie agreed.
What are you going to do? Say no? Yeah.
Or just
run away?
I can't imagine being.
Do?
Yeah, I can't imagine being in that position.
Yeah.
Once inside, Carr stabbed her. The blade entered her chest, near her heart, and pierced her lung. The attack was only stopped when the school bell rang, and other girls entered the bathroom, interrupting the assault. Anne-Marie survived.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Anne-Marie later said that when Carr pulled the knife on her, she was smiling. Yikes.
That is terrifying. That's
terrifying.
Yeah. So now let's get into the investigation and the arrest. Carr was charged with 2 counts of actual bodily harm for the attack on Anne-Marie, but the impact went far beyond her physical injuries. Anne-Marie was left deeply traumatized, struggling to sleep in the aftermath.
For a time, her father slept at the foot of her bed to comfort and protect her.
Aww.
Her family, described as loving and supportive, stood in stark contrast to the environment Carr had grown up in.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so sweet of her father to do that. I'm glad you put that, because there's not always moments for tenderness when you're telling these stories, and I just think that's a really beautiful
It is
note.
Really sweet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. While awaiting trial, Carr was sent to an assessment center where she tried to strangle 2 of the staff members. Carr was eventually sentenced to 2 years for the attack on Anne-Marie and was sent to Bullwood Hall Young Offenders Institution.
The Katie Rackliff killing had remained unsolved despite 4 years of intensive investigation by police. But in 1996, Bullwood Hall staff alerted police after Carr began talking about the killing of Katie Rackliff on the telephone to her friends and family, and wrote about it in her diaries.
My God. She also began to give details of what she had done to a prison officer, on whom she had developed a crush, as well as talking about it to a probation officer. Investigators searched the Carr home and found diaries that she had kept.
They seized Carr's writings and drawings and questioned her for over 27 hours. She gave several different accounts of how Katie had been killed, but in all of them, the central theme was that she had repeatedly stabbed her.
She knew details about Katie Rackliff's murder that were not available to the public. She graphically described one particular injury, details of which the police had deliberately withheld. She also knew that a gold bracelet had been stolen from Katie, knowledge that only the killer would have.
In 2 of the versions, Carr said she was with 2 boys in a car at the time of the attack, and the boys had engaged in sexual activity with Katie before they dumped her body. She named the 2 boys. Police interviewed them, but they provided alibis for each other.
Oh, wow.
And the investigators ended that line of inquiry, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not how it's supposed to work, right?
No.
That's interesting. However, investigators could not explain how Katie had been picked up in a car and had been dragged across a pavement and around a corner by a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Carr also kept a diary while she was locked up and continued with her writing even after being interviewed by the police. She just couldn't stop.
Wow. It was just pouring out of her.
Yeah, pouring out of her. She was endlessly writing about the murder and drawing pictures of a knife. In one entry, she said, quote, "I'm a killer. Killing is my business, and business is good," unquote.
No, no.
Every time they would, I mean, this was repeated in like all the articles, and I watched a couple of documentaries too, and it was repeated over and every time I heard it, I was like, this is so immature.
Ah, interesting take, OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an immature saying. In fact, I think it's from a movie.
From a movie, yeah.
Major Payne. Sure. I think it's from Major Payne starring Marlon Wayans when killing is my business and business is good.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
He said.
Yeah, I thought it was from a movie, but I didn't remember which one. And I just thought this is so stupid.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
great observation.
Because she wrote it, and she is a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
It is like kind of freaky, but it's still like really stupid.
Yeah, it's all those things at once. Many things can be true. Very stupid, also very chilling, and also from Major Payne, one of the greatest films of the 90s. Now, in another quote, she said, quote, "I was born to be a murderer. Killing for me is a mass turn on. And it just makes me so high I never want to come down. Every night I see the devil in my dreams, sometimes even in the mirror. But I realize it was just me," unquote. Whoa.
Yeah, that one is a little freakier. Yeah. 4 years after Katie's murder, a diary entry read, quote, "I bring the knife into her chest. Her eyes are closing. She is pleading with me, so I bring the knife to her again and again. I don't want to hurt her, but I need to do violence to her. I need to overcome her beauty, her serenity, her security. There I see her face when she died. I know she feels her life being slowly drawn from her, and I hear her gasp. I guess she was trying to breathe. The air stops in the back of her throat. I know all her life, her breathing has worked, but it does not now, and I am joyful," unquote.
Man, it's times like these I wish I had more knowledge of psychology.
Yeah,
because it's just a curious. It's just a really disturbing and
thing to write. Yeah,
yeah. So one bone-chilling entry read, quote, "I wish I could kill you again. I promised I would make you suffer more. Your terrified screams turn me on," unquote.
Biff. She described herself as a twisted life destroyer and said that she enjoyed watching people die. However, she also had entries where she expressed shame for what she'd done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Detective Sergeant Paul Clements, who interviewed Carr extensively, recalled, quote, "It was almost as if she was in another world. What sticks in my mind about talking to her was the coldness. Most people that you interview show some feeling as to why they have done what they have done. But with her, there was a complete absence of emotion and reason," unquote.
Years after her arrest, she was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, a chronic mental health condition combining symptoms of schizophrenia, such as hallucinations or delusions, with a major mood disorder, such as bipolar disorder or depression. She has also been diagnosed with more than one personality disorder.
Interesting. So now let's get into the trial. So Carr recanted her confession in May, but it was in your journals, girl.
Yeah.
In May of 1996, she was charged with Katie's murder. On June 7th that year, her diary read, "Respect to Katie Rackliff, 4 years today."
In March 1997, a 4-week trial started in which Carr's confessions and her writings were presented to the jury. There was no forensic evidence, but as the prosecutor pointed out, she had knowledge of the murder which was not available to the public.
As we mentioned earlier, she graphically described one particular injury, details of which the police had deliberately withheld. And she also knew that a bracelet had been stolen from Katie, knowledge that only the killer would have.
And on March 25th, 1997, following 5 hours deliberation, She was convicted of murder with a unanimous verdict. It was the writings and subsequent verbal confessions that convicted Carr.
Of course.
Yep.
And 5 hours isn't that long. So
no, they were like, yeah, she did it.
Yeah.
She guilty.
She guilty. So Britain's youngest female killer is Mary Bell, who was convicted of manslaughter after strangling 2 boys to death in Newcastle upon Tyne. That's the name of the place?
Yeah.
In 1968.
They have some weird names in the UK.
Wow. Okay. And she committed her first killing when she was just 10 years old. But she was a little white girl, and she was found guilty of manslaughter, not murder.
So this conviction made Sharon Carr Britain's youngest female murderer at the age of 12. And she was 17 when she was convicted.
That's interesting. The 2 cases next to each other and the similarities, but also the differences.
Yeah.
Sentencing Carr at Winchester Crown Court. Mr. Justice Scott Baker told Carr, quote, "The evidence suggests you were not alone when you stabbed Katie Rackliff to death. Who the others were and what part they played remains unclear. What is clear is that you had a sexual motive. This is apparent both from the brutal manner in which you mutilated her body and the chilling entries in your diary recording what you had done. Killing, as you put it, turns you on. You are an extremely dangerous young woman." Unquote.
Carr was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 14 years. Katie Rackliff's father, Joseph, said of Carr, quote, "I hope she rots in hell," unquote, which, amen.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand why he
would
feels
say that
and would say that. After she was jailed in 1997, criminal psychologist Gordon Tressler said the case was difficult to understand because it involved a child killing an adult rather than another child, which I did not realize until I that is really unusual.
Yeah.
Quote, "This is an extremely dangerous person because she is clearly prepared to kill without an adequate motive. That makes her conduct very unpredictable and very dangerous. She is a great danger to the public," unquote. And well said.
Yeah.
So now we are going to get into where are they now? Tell us, Beth.
Initially held at HM Prison Holloway in 1998, Carr was transferred to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric hospital. At Broadmoor, she assaulted staff and other residents and admitted to wanting to kill a fellow inmate by slitting her throat. Yikes. She also claimed to believe she was a lizard and tried to cut herself to find out whether she was still human.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
In 2001, Carr returned to the headlines after reports surfaced that she was planning to marry fellow inmate Robbie Lane, 24, who had killed his mother and mutilated her body. Both were being held at Broadmoor Hospital at the time.
Although the couple had even purchased gold rings, they ultimately called off the wedding after reading a newspaper account detailing their crimes.
Interesting.
It's like, I'm not marrying you. You killed your mother.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I'm not marrying you. You killed a woman.
I just think that's so, it hadn't
so
come
funny.
up before. Yeah. So in 2007, Carr was moved again to the medium secure Orchard unit, but was sent to HM Prison Bronzefield in 2015 as a restricted status prisoner, since she still presented a risk to patients and staff.
She has remained imprisoned long after her minimum term of 14 years expired, due to continued violent behavior in prison, including attacks on staff and inmates.
Yeah, so she probably could have been out by now, right?
Yeah.
This happened in the 90s.
I mean, technically, yeah, she could have. The minimum was 14 years. And I think her attorneys applied for her to be released after 9. But no, she's not getting out.
So in 2020, Carr was deemed too unstable to be released from Bronzefield in southwest London after she attempted to get her restricted prisoner status downgraded.
Most recently, she was denied parole in August of 2023. Today, Carr is 46 years old and is still incarcerated.
Wow. Many questions still remain. For example, was there a car? Who was driving it? Were the boys involved? How did Carr drag Katie, a fully grown woman, a considerable distance after the attack? Oh my God.
Good questions. Yeah.
So many questions. But that's what we've got for the story. And now we're going to get into what we think made The Devil's Daughter snap and takeaways. So hit it, Beth. What do you think?
Well, Carr's case is considered highly unusual, as we were talking about.
Right.
Female perpetrators are rare.
Mm-hmm.
Those who target strangers are even rarer. And a 12-year-old girl murdering an adult female stranger has been described as virtually unprecedented.
Wow. Wow.
But
what?
I wonder, were those two boys involved? And if they were, who instigated this? Who started this whole thing?
Great question.
Yeah. I mean, it still could have been Carr.
Sure.
But those two boys could have started it and she finished it, or I don't know. But it seems like she didn't do this by herself.
You really believe that?
I do. I do believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was found so far away. It was like 3 or 4 miles away from the nightclub where she was found. So there had to be a car. And, it's not impossible that a 12-year-old girl could drive a car.
Sure.
But to drag the body around, there just seems a lot of things that happen that I do believe that she stabbed her. I do believe that. But I also believe that those boys were involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I guess part of me thought are the boys a red herring? But maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But I suspect that there was more to it.
Okay.
Even the judge said, I think there's somebody else involved in this. I don't know who it is, but you're fucked up, girl.
Yeah, you
basically
you just gotta go away. You just we don't know the rest, but you just need to go.
But you gotta go away. Yeah. So some of the things that she wrote in her diary about wanting to overcome Katie's beauty, serenity, and security makes me think she must have felt horrible about herself. She wanted to destroy that in somebody else that she saw as beautiful and had everything. She also chose a white girl to destroy.
Right.
So that makes me think some of it was due to racism. And the security part, that's sad because she felt no security in her home.
And so when you say the racism, you mean the racism that Carr may have experienced?
Yes.
That
that's what I mean. Not that she had racism. No. Just that she probably coming from Belize, coming to the UK, then experienced racism there and probably felt ugly and bad about herself. And so she saw this pretty white girl and just wanted to destroy her.
Yeah.
And her childhood had to have been horrific.
Yeah.
And given the sexual overtones of Katie's murder, I wonder if Carr was sexually abused, even beyond that pepper punishment, which was weird. Yeah. And there's almost nothing about her father and stepfather in any article I read. Like they just appear and then disappear. I would really like to know more beyond just she's the devil and the voodoo made her do it. I'd like to know more about her early life.
Yeah. I think you're right. There's more there. We just don't know.
Don't know what it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your thoughts. Fully agree with all of them.
You're welcome.
And I had not considered that because Belize, my mom grew up in Belize, and I've always been jealous because it's a literal paradise. But her environment, her world was Black. There wasn't like racism in it. She had Black teachers and doctors, right? It was never
everybody was Black. Yeah.
It was never impressed upon her that she was somehow less valuable as a human being just because of her skin color or her hair texture. And when you leave a place like that and go to the UK, which is pretty white, pretty white, that can fuck you up.
Yeah.
And suddenly, like, people are treating you differently or talking to you differently or have different expectations of you. Again, just because of the color of your skin. Also, a move that young from one continent to another can also be traumatic and destabilizing physically,
culture
and spiritually.
is completely different. Yeah.
Yes, and emotionally. And maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but I wonder, did anybody ever ask, Sharon, what happened to you? Sharon, are you okay? Sharon, do you need anything? You know what I mean? I don't know if it would have made a difference.
Well, it sounds like she didn't get much of that at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And Katie should be here with her family and friends, right?
Yeah.
It's devastating that she's not. And I feel so sorry for Anne-Marie, so young to have been attacked so viciously, and the lifelong trauma that I'm sure she's had to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently watched a documentary about some girls in a friend group who they wanted to kick one of the friends out, and instead of just saying, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, they killed her.
Oh, God.
And I was just curious.
It is not good at all.
That
is not good. Don't do that.
No, but I've heard, we know what mean girls are.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of research into the dynamics of girlhood, and girls can't express anger in the same way that boys do. So they create these weird non-violent punishment on silent treatment or name calling and rumor spreading, right?
Ugh.
But on the other end, it can be violent. And I'm not an expert or anything. I just thought it was interesting to consider the dynamics of young girls when talking about what this young girl did. And then very interesting that Carr was convicted of murder, but Mary Bell was convicted of only manslaughter.
Right.
And I'm not saying Carr should have been charged with anything different, but we do know here at Fruit Loops that Black individuals do tend to receive more severe charges and sentences, and just something I observed. And then, maybe she's not the devil's daughter, but she did do devilish things taking someone's life and destroying whatever safety and security she felt, and Anne-Marie too. And it sounds like she got joy from it, which, from my days in the church, I think that's the devil does enjoy doing those things. And lastly, rest in peace to Katie.
Yeah.
And we hope wherever Anne-Marie is, the surviving victim, that she's doing well on what I'm sure is a lifelong journey to heal from this terrible thing that happened to her. And same to the loved ones of Katie and Anne-Marie's loved ones and the entire community. This is, it's just insane, Beth. Insane and sad and terrible. And
all of those things.
Those things. So, thanks for being here with us, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Beth, where can the people find us?
Our website is fruitloopspod.com, and we use Fruit Loops Pod for all of our social media. The footnotes for each episode can be found on our website. Plus, check it out for the different ways that you can support the show. You can also join us on Patreon, where we have hundreds of hours of bonus content. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors, or by giving us a 5-star review.
5 stars only, please.
Don't forget to subscribe.
That's right. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and episodes drop on Thursdays. So until next time, look alive, y'all. It's crazy out there. Bitch up so I can actually see. Okay, here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. But economically, the 1980s. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. The evidence suggests that you were not only.
Nope.
What? No?
No
Wait
accent.
Wait a minute. Dang it. That's my specialty. Okay, it's my speciality. Okay, no more accent. Yeah. Do you know something? Great call. I would have regretted that for years to come.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
where are they now?
New section. Hey, we did it.
We did.
Today, I feel like I'm back in the groove. What did we
Yeah.
We did take a little break last week. It's taken a while.
But I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying finally to you. I'm saying finally to both of us.
I don't know how to explain it. Everything, this felt
pretty good.
Old times. Yeah. And I cherished every moment, my friend.
Me too.
So thanks for another banger. Well done on the research. And Minnie, thanks for editing. Thank you. Thank you all around. Minnie. Well, right. I will get this audio into the drive and see you on the internet. I love you.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
Night.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.